love you guys so
Virgie,
much.
what's up?
And I know that you guys missed us as well. And so, we needed to do some catch up. We've also been doing some amazing things for you guys on the back end, creating some really beautiful ways to serve you. And so we were creating that balance, as well as kind of navigating the waters and our own, stuff here. And so we had a little break, and I think that we talk to you guys all the time about having to need to do that, but we could not be more excited to be back with you guys because we missed you so much. So if some of your friends have been watching, tag them, bring them in, share this, remind them that we're back, because it's really, really important that we're all here again doing this together.
Yes.
You are our family, you are our community, you are
Layla.
our why. We say it all the time, so we're so excited. So if you guys are hopping on new and you've never joined us before, welcome. And I'm Dov and this is Nicole. This is our Sunday sermon, and we are here to share a space that creates sacredness and creates ritual and practice where you can come and you can shift through limiting belief systems. You can shift through things that you do not want to define you anymore. You can be in a state of power. You can love each other. We respect every single one of you and wherever you are in your belief system. And so it is amazing to have you if you're new. And if you're coming back, we love you oh so much. So this morning, we're going to continue to talk a little bit more about what we left off with a couple weeks ago around the subject of pain. And we're going to talk about pain today in a special way where we're going to start to look at the old ideas and systems that we had around it so that you can actually understand it in a new way. And one of the major things that I hear from people all the time is, this situation hurts. What am I doing wrong? Right? This relationship hurts. What am I doing wrong? And we look at these pains as an indicator that it either is not for us or it's absolutely wrong or it's being done wrong. Now, there's a lot of layers to this, and of course our pain body, our experience is an indicator of internal reality, but it does not always mean you're doing something wrong, and it does not always mean that it is the wrong thing, right? And so we're going to look into this, and we're going to look into the subject of pain, and we're going to look into it to start to shift your perspective and your reality around it. Right? Because all of that will allow you to be in this deeper state of power where there is less story, less judgment, more experience, and more growth. And the most exciting thing of all is if we understand, and we talked about this last time, so if you guys have not seen the first video, the first one on pain that we did a couple weeks ago, go back and check it out, right? We talked about the fact that we can change our relationship with the subject of pain. Right? Because pain is not an optional experience. Life is not the pursuit of its avoidance. However, suffering is the optional part, right? And a lot of suffering comes from the stories that we create around pain and around our growth experiences. And how a lot of the time when we feel these painful moments, either we're having a growth moment or we're having stuff reflected back to us. So let's break some of this down.
Yeah, totally. I'm going to hand Sophia over so I can have
Sophia's
movement.
Here to say
because
hi
I want to
guys.
jive with you and I want to love you. I love you all so much. You guys are still coming on. So happy to be with you. Missed you so much on this platform because it's so special to Dov and I. So for me, what I wanted to talk about was, I wanted to share some stories about my life to kind of explain some of this and explain an angle that has been really important for me to understand. And I still go through having to understand this, and it is really, really difficult.
Yes.
So for many of you, maybe life wasn't so easy, right? For many of you, maybe there was a lot of abuse. For many of you, maybe you made a lot of choices that caused you to go against self and caused you to go into a spiral into places that you never wanted to go, right? So it caused a lot of pain. And it caused a lot of misery, and it caused you a lot of suffering, right? And I remember, I think the first time I actually ever went for any kind of help, bless you, girl,
Sneezing on the tree.
I was 24, I'm almost 40 now, looking good. I was 24, and I remember I went for help, and I was so excited to get the help. I was so excited, and I'm proud of myself to actually go into an inpatient program and be there, and to learn, and to break. And I remember thinking, and I was so, I had so much faith. I was like, things are going to be different. I'm going to leave here. Everything's going to be better. My whole life's going to change. And wow, bless you. Wow, that was not true. Right? That was not true. Because I had gone so far into hell, and I had gone into so much pain body, and I had gone into the depths of so much, God bless you. I had gone through so much that the unraveling that was going to take time.
Yes.
It was going to take time. So for many of you, you're like, I've done so much work. I've been doing this. I've been doing that. I don't understand what the hell is going on. It is part of the process. And it was part of me having to stand up no matter what and not quit no matter what. And every time I went back into old patterns, and every time I went into back into old thinking, or thinking that I couldn't do it, or thinking that I was like worthless, or thinking that I didn't have it in me to get there, and I didn't understand, and I was so angry with the universe. I was so angry with God, and I freaking hated myself. And I'll be honest with you guys, there are days even now that I struggle. Right? I had a really hard past. When you have a hard past, it's not going to be easy getting to where you want to be. It's just not. And if you can understand that and give yourself a friggin' break and be like, damn, I'm still breathing. Damn, I'm still going. I am still here. It is okay. I'm a friggin' warrior for even standing up today.
Yes.
In that, you change even more. And I have a different correlation with pain, right? I remember saying, God, I should be somewhere else. I should be here, right? Every time I'd fall and get up, I should be here though. I should be here. I should have already gotten this. I should have already created this. I should already be a million. I should. And in that is where we start to suffer. When we start to say these things that don't align exactly with the truth. You should be right where you are right now. And if you want to be there, if you want to be here, you can be there. And it's going to take time. Yes. It's going to take a little bit of time. And sometimes if you're willing to surrender enough, but I fight a lot, so it takes, I struggle with it. But when we surrender to love and we surrender to this process and we honor it, we get there even faster.
Yes.
So no, it's not easy. And yes, pain is a part of life. I was thinking about the subject this morning. I was thinking about like childbirth. That hurts, mama. I've never had a baby, but that hurts. And I'm sure it hurts our head too. Your head comes out all coned sometimes. You come out, you're in this warm water in the amniotic sac, and you're just like, you're chilling. And you just get thrown out into the world, and you're like, ah! Everything that is good has pain involved. It's okay, it's a part of it, right? It's a part of it. All kinds of beauty come out of pain. But it's about not taking the pain and then creating suffering through it and making stories about it that you're not where you should be or you're not who you should be, because you're beautiful just the way you are right now.
Ooh, yes, aho, amen, guys. Hashtag amen, aho, right? Right where you're supposed to be. You're perfect right where you're supposed to be. You know, and the thing is that we can want to develop, we can want to move forward, as Nicole said, and that if we are not allowing ourselves to be right where we are, then what we do is we actually bypass the now, and then we can't have the next, right? We bypass the now and we do not allow ourselves to have the next moment. So, you know, I've heard all of you guys, right? I've heard of you guys sending us messages. Why is this so painful? Why is that so painful? And the thing is that we grow. As of now, we grow. This is something we have the capacity to shift as a collective, but as of now, we grow through our pain, right? If you think through your most amazing moments, and we grow through reflection. The world reflects back to us. Our partners reflect back to us. So a lot of times people say, why is this partnership so painful? So caveat, I'm not talking about an abusive partnership. I'm not talking about a partnership that is dangerous. I'm not talking about those things. I'm talking about why is sometimes a partnership where you love that person so much and you know that you have a deep connection, you know you're meant to be together, why does it hurt so much at times? Well, because the thing is that when you're in that relationship and you have that partner that is so close to you, right? They're reflecting back to you those wounds and pains and stories and experiences that you already had within you, that you already had, right? And those wounds and those pains that need attention. And so here is how pain, it allows us to know what's going on, but it is also part of the release of that. Because as that indicator comes to us and we feel that pain and we go, oh, hot spot, something's there. We can bring our consciousness, our awareness to that pain. We can allow ourselves to start looking at it. But the thing is, it's not about bypassing the pain and going, let me figure out how to not feel it, because it doesn't go anywhere, right? We cannot hide or run from these pain spots, from these experiences, from these points that need to grow or need to be resolved or need to be released or need to be healed. We cannot run or hide from them. We stuff them and stuff them, they continue to grow. And we hide them and they continue to grow. And then we will be refaced with those. So if you can use that indicator and you bring yourself to the pain and you take a look at the pain and you understand it. And so relationships, yes, sometimes relationships that you're meant to be in, that you wanted to be in, hurt. And here's the other thing. Sometimes those relationships are just designed for that hurt, for but a moment, for you to take a look at yourself and then be able to move forward.
Rachel, we say hi to your baby Phoenix. We have a really good friend who their baby, his name is Phoenix. So hi Phoenixes, if Brittany's on too. So it's so beautiful. So let's talk about some things that actually create more pain when we're trying to alleviate the pain. Right? So for a lot of us, we all have this inner critic. Like if I'm critical enough of Nicole, if I am really critical enough and I watch my every move and every step, right? I'm not gonna have pain. If I'm really just pragmatic about it, it's not gonna happen. And what happens is that criticalness puts us in a box. And what happens is we then put ourselves in this nice little jail cell and we beat ourselves, and it causes suffering. It causes a lack of freedom. It boxes us in, not allowing us to reach the level of freedom and peace and love and joy that we want all along. Because we're just trying to make it work and we're trying to alleviate pain. So we don't just use drugs and alcohol and food and different things. We do little things like sabotage, right? Let me sabotage it, because if I just blow it up, I don't have to think about it. I'll walk away. And the thing is then we lose out on the things that we really love. This is a big one for me. My inner saboteur from since I was little has been with me. This part of me that's like, oh my God, you know what? I'm gonna have something good, because I created so many great things in my life. I created really dope stuff, really Gucci stuff in my life, right? Full ride scholarships, right? Straight A student, right? Valedictorian, getting up on stage, right? Rocking people's world. And every time I would do it, I'd freaking fall apart after. And then I get the next thing and then I fall apart after. And then what I started to do was I started to go, you know what? If I succeed, I'm probably going to fall apart. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to blow it up anyways. And then I keep blowing it up. And this part of me has caused me so much pain and suffering. And it's just a part of me that my ego is just scared of losing it again. Some of you are scared to move forward because you're scared of not having and thinking that you can't have it, or losing something that you already have. And the thing is we lock ourselves into not having any of it, right? I was talking the other day about this imprint on our hearts. We all have desire. We all have our purpose and mission. Like if you could just imagine all these codes in your heart, and those we come here to just express that and allow that out. All the things of like criticism and sabotage, it just keeps closing it in, and you want to break and you want to fight, and you're so angry and you're pissed off, and all you have to do is just let go. Allow yourself to be right here, focusing on what it is that you really want.
Yes.
And allow yourself to go through the process. Now, I'm saying this to you because I've sabotaged so many times. I still sabotage. I still have to work through this process. I said in the beginning of this, I've gone so deep into places, so deep into choices that were not aligned with Nicole. To unravel that, I had to go all the way back in and start to unravel it. I'm still in that process, because the higher Dov and I go, the more successful we become, right? The closer we get, the greater things that happen in my life, the more scared I become. The more scared you become, the loss is greater, right? So
yeah, no, amen, right? I love it. I love it. If this is resonating for you guys, right? Bring somebody in, share this video right now, tag somebody, right? That it's, amen, aho, right? It's resonating for you. So, really like, and again, cycling it back into this, if it feels painful, and then also this idea alone hurts us. If it feels painful, I'm doing something wrong, right? So there is a way to take notes from the universe about if we're sort of on track and aligned, and that's a different subject that we should probably talk about. But the idea too is sometimes we're in that breakdown, right? So let's talk about that breakdown for a little while, because the breakdown is a really, really powerful and important moment, okay? The breakdown is when the things that are not really you anymore need to shed, and those are painful. We think about growth, how a child grows, it hurts, right? How you grow, it hurts. I've had people say to me, I'm doing something wrong in my ascension process. I'm in a pit, right? Like everything feels terrible. I'm like, well, I don't know what idea of ascension that you had, right? What idea of awakening, what idea of evolution, but it hurts, right? It hurts just like the transformation of, growing. It hurts because you are growing and you're allowing those things to release, and you're having ideas about the way that you look at life change, and you have ideas about the way you look at yourself change, and you let yourself grow and move and shift so that there is that room for you to be the person that you were all along. We talk to you guys all the time about it is just a state of remembering, right? You're perfect. You're not broken. You don't need to be fixed. All it is that we need to remember, we need to get those piles, those bricks, those walls out of the way so that we can reconnect back with that remembrance. And sometimes that process hurts, right? And the thing is that we need to go deep into those basements, and we need to clean those basements out in order for us to be able to actually have that clean, open space where we can receive more and experience more of the things that we want. And the only way to do that is to authentically go into the crap and feel it, and feel the pain and the discomfort. And the thing is that although we might not remember when we're in the moment of our pain body, because when we're in that moment of our pain body, we become very, very short-sighted.
Yes.
Okay, right? So when the pain hits, what happens is we become very self-centered. Maybe not in the way that you've used the word, but self-centered is in you become the universe, right? Nothing else exists. Your pain becomes the universe. We all know that. That's what it's designed to do. We come into this state and we become really, really small, and we're in this moment and we're feeling that pain and we can't see the big picture anymore, and we're meant to be there. We're meant to be there so that we can authentically and fully experience that pain. And if we allow ourselves to be in that, we can also allow ourselves to move out of that. Right? And it is hard. We might need to put Post-its all over the house and remind ourselves, hey, when we go into the crap, it's just a season, it's just a moment. We don't have to stay there. And the thing is that when we choose not to attach to it, when we choose not to, and actually they're leading me, so my guides, if you guys are new to us, to talk to you about something, and it's surrender. It's surrender. So what does surrender mean to me? Because surrender has been defined by people, the dictionary, definitely not the dictionary, right? In my terms of definition of surrender. Surrender is the ability to be in the experience without attaching to the experience, so that the experience has the potential to shift. So what am I talking about? So let's say you're in pain and you're feeling that pain, and it's really big and it's really great and it is really pressing you to evolve yourself and you're really needing to be in it. Whoa. We can do 3 different things. And one of you, we've talked about this before with one of you, and actually you being on has reminded us of this, and I felt the need to tell all of you guys. So we can be in this state where we stop and we go, okay, I can accept this. And wrong answer. What does acceptance of it mean? It means that you're going to accept that as your reality. Well, you don't really want to accept pain and discomfort and breakdown as a reality, but we don't want to deny it. So we don't want to stuff it. We don't want to run from it. We don't want to sabotage it. We want to surrender to it, because a surrender is a neutral state where we don't have the ideas attached to it anymore. So it's not your story, it's not your life, it's a process, it's a shift. It's where you are in the right now, but the right now shifts at every single second, and the surrender allows it to shift faster. So that's actually a greater tool, is that as soon as you actually go into that surrender, because the other side of the acceptance is resistance. So there's acceptance, surrender, and resistance, right? And so when we resist it, it persists. What we resist persists. That's a real thing. That's a cliche, but it's a reality, right? We try to not think about something, what happens? So when a lot of people come to me and they say, I try not to think about bad things, I try not to think about painful things, right? It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. We resolve those things so that they don't attack us, they don't take our mind, and then we also take time to think about the positive so that we can grow that, right? So can you surrender in those moments? You don't have to accept where you are. It's not about that. It's surrendering to it and understanding it has a purpose. You have a purpose. Can you also look into that purpose? Can you watch? Can you observe yourself? Can you not add a story to where you are in that moment? Very few things in life are factual, many of which are attached to a story. So we consistently go through life looking to confirm our thoughts about reality by creating stories that we can attach to it to create. And Nicole is talking about that spiral of reality. That's what we do. We create a web. We have a little thought, a little experience, and then we build a web around it with more ideas. And we find evidence in the world, and we put that evidence into those experiences. And then we find a person that acts in a way that confirms our theory, and we add that to the box, and before we know it, we have a giant network that's built around our idea, and that idea might have been a lie.
Yup.
So now there's a whole city, network, country, grid built around that, and we do that all the time.
Yes.
When Nicole and I talk to you about being the conscious observer, that's why. Be the observer so that you do not need to add the story, the judgment, the ideas that keep us trapped and locked. And then we hold on to those ideas and those stories far past the time that we even know if they're real for us anymore. And then we wake up one morning and we go, I don't know who I am because I'm a construct of ideas that I have made for myself out of fears and lies and an attempt to prove a theory that I don't even know if it's real about myself. And then that is what I mean by allowing the things that are not you or do not define you to die so that you can remember who you were all along. Right? Do you guys know what I mean? Amen?
Yeah, amen. I was feeling that. I was feeling you guys. Your energy's so yummy right now. It's just so some things that I do to help myself through this process of pain. That's important for me to. I have to remind myself daily of this, right?
Yes.
That I am in this beautiful, sexy meat suit. I love all the memes about the meat suit, right? So this very dense skin, that's beautiful though, because it keeps our soul in here so that we could be on earth, right? So it's really, really important that we take care of it. But the essence of us, our true essence, our soul, is this big, resilient, infinite, connected to everything and all things, connected to God, source, right? That has that power. And we forget in this body that we have that. And the thing about pain, the most beautiful part about pain is when there's cracks and there's holes and we're in pain and we choose to ask for infinite help, when we choose to be like, I can't do this, please help me, please be like, I only have this much to give right now, can you be the extension of that source, can you be the extension of that God,
Amen.
Can you be the extension of that universe to get me? And when we ask for that, the grace and mercy that comes from love, that comes from source, comes in immediately.
Yes.
And it will happen in a flash. And it is one of the most important tools that I will ever have. Knowing that even in my greatest weakness, that I don't have to show up totally. That God is going to show up for you. That the universe is going to show up for you if you ask. If you bring attention to it. If you bring attention to this infinite part of yourself. If you bring attention to that you're never friggin' alone because we're all connected.
Yes.
You know, some of the pain that we're feeling on this earth right now is a collective pain. Collective ideas. Collective old paradigms. Abuse. All these things that women have gone through. All these things that our men are dealing with. All these things that we have historically been dealing with. Everything's starting to crumble. And so we have to release ourselves from that stuff.
Yes.
And actually, I'm going to ask that we're released from some of these things right now. That we release ourselves from these collective beliefs that you need to suffer. These collective beliefs that as a woman, that you'll never be equal. Or that you have to be, you have to hide. You can't be your beautiful being. Release men from not being able to feel their feelings. Release men from this idea that they can't crumble in front of their woman or whoever, that they can't be in their emotions, that they can't plant their feet and stay. And all of the other things that are going on, I just disconnect you from all of the trauma, from all of the pain. Allowing yourself to fully connect right now. Connect to your higher self. Your higher self knows. A lot of you question yourself. A lot of you get the answers in like 3.5 seconds on what to do, and you'll feel it, and you'll feel really good about it, and your higher self's like, here it is, and you're just like, oh, that feels so good, and then all of a sudden, you know, you let minutes go by, or like hours go by, or days go by, and you're like, no, I'm crazy. That can't do that. That's not correct. And then we walk away from our voice, from our true voice.
Yes.
And so beginning to not only ask for help, but beginning to listen to yourself and trust yourself. The first 3 seconds when a thought comes down, it's usually yours. It's usually yours. For the most part, I would say 99.9. And Sophia's hair is just like, I'm like petting her as I'm talking, and her hair's like, it's
It's probably why I'm sneezing, right? 99% of the time, it's your intuition. Your initial reaction is your intuition. People ask me that all the time. How do I hear my intuition? A lot of the times it's the need to remove our blocks, our traumas, our experiences, past and present, to be able to access ourselves, right? It really comes down to that simplistic, theory or sort of equation is what I mean to say. But being able to actually listen to yourself comes in that initial reaction that we have, that initial gut instinct. That gut instinct idea is a real thing. It really is the higher self. It's the higher self connecting into that, into your truth. And after that, we go into the ego. After that, we go into the mind. After that, we go into the fear. After that, we go into the stories that we were just talking about, the stories that are there and kind of defining us. And Nicole talked about some of the stories that are collective about who we are, and it goes also into ideas, right? And I don't want to go too far into this because I think that we should talk about, have a sermon about defining ourselves as our old ideas and our old labels, right? Because you're not just that. You're not just these old labels and these old ideas. And that's why I guide people away from holding on to all these stories, because also those stories are causing you pain. So let's talk about pain that is presently here, right, to show you and allow you to grow, and pain that we are fabricating.
Yes.
Based on ideas. And actually, that's not pain. I want to go into suffering, right? So pain is not optional. Sorry. Pain's not optional yet, right? If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, yet. Pain is not optional yet. However, suffering still is very optional. Suffering comes from mind. Suffering comes from stories, comes from comparison, comes from thought forms, comes from ideas, comes from the inability to allow ourselves to be in the now where we are without an idea about where that could be. And that suffering is also deeply connected to sabotage, because it is keeping us in this story that we cannot move from this victim template or mentality, that we cannot be in our power, that we cannot create what we want to do, and it becomes our crutch and it becomes our safety blanket, and believe it or not, we are causing our suffering.
Yes.
Right? And you're in power to create everything in your life, but we cause our suffering through these ideas and these stories. So watch. What are you thinking about yourself? What are you thinking about your life? What are you comparing? What are you holding on to? What labels and ideas are you holding on to that are causing you actual suffering? Can you be in the neutral state? Can you be in the observer? Can you be in the neutral state of surrender? There's a lot of neutrality in surrender in a lot of ways. But it's not a laying on the couch, I give up. That's not surrender. That's not surrender. It's still an active process. It's still an active intention. I love you guys. We
love you so much. So, what Dov was saying, it's like starting to be observant of, what are the things that make you happy and what are the things that make you suffer, right? Really starting to look at that, starting to journal about it, starting to write. Like, we make choices about where we work, we make choices about who we're seeing, we make choices about how we express ourselves. Are you expressing yourself? Do you not express yourself enough? Are you not honest enough? Do you not let people see you? That's gonna make you suffer, right? When we express ourselves fully, it is like the most freedom any human can have, is by just being. If you could just be for a moment, just who you are, and let yourself just be who you are, that there's nothing like that. Right? And so just starting to look at the parts of your life that you're not expressing yourself.
Yes.
The parts of your life that are not working for you. The parts of your life that don't feel great. It's okay to admit it. We have so many clients, when they finally just say it out loud, they're just like, oh my God, I'm at this fucking job and I freaking hate it. What am I doing here? We're like, quit. Do what you want to do. And people quit their jobs and start businesses and succeed immediately because they're doing what they love. I'm not telling you guys to, I'm going to say it, I'm not telling you guys to quit your job right now, right? We went through a process to do that. But looking at it, just look at it fearlessly. And just because you write it and maybe you're holding on to it, see, this is the thing. Sometimes we look at the things that make us suffer and we're not ready to let them go, because there are parts of those things that benefit us in some sort of way. There's some parts of that that protect us. There's some parts of those things that give us something, right? Even when I was getting high, listen, I could write you a list of what that gave for me and why I stayed high for so long, because it did so much for me until it was destroying me. You guys know what I'm talking about in different ways. And even with food, anything, it's like it works for so long, and then when it starts to not work anymore, we have to look at it and we have to go, okay, what's the next step? How, maybe some of this shit that I need to release, maybe I can't yet. Maybe I need help with this. Maybe I can't do this alone, because some of these things are deeply rooted in trauma. Some of them are deeply, like when I talk about deeply rooted in trauma, I'm talking about like deep in there, guarded by a bunch of guards, walls, high beings. You're like, hell no, no one's going in there, and that's okay. But it's okay to start to look at it, because once we bring attention to it and we start to get more specific with it, the universe will start to give you the help that you need. But you have to be honest with yourself. You just have to be honest. You just have to face it.
Yes, 100%. You know, and kind of looking at all of your comments coming in, guys. So, you know, one of you said something about, you know, I'm just gonna be where I am right now, and that's good and it's great and it's amazing. Don't forget that you can still hold the intentions of where you'd like to be, right? So don't just kind of, right? Don't kind of spiritual bypass and just go, yep, it's all good, just where I'm supposed to be right now, I'm just gonna stay here. That's why surrender is both a passive, neutral, and active process. Allow the experience that needs to be there, but hold the intention of where you're moving towards. Know that that pain is moving you through the breakdown, into the breakthrough, to the place that you actually want to get, right? Know that it's a process. I don't just go, I'm in a lot of pain, I guess this is my reality for life, right? I go, I'm in a lot of pain, I guess there's some things that I need to look at, there's some things that we're working on, there's some evolution here, and let me also hold that intention and give to the universe where I wish to be, where I want to be, and what I want to experience, okay? And that's really, really important. So I wanted to make that distinction. And a lot of you guys are writing in about pain of separation from people that is really important to you, you know, twin flame situations and so on. And there's a uniqueness to that subject, right? And there is a lot to say about that. So we will find some time to do that for you guys.
Yes.
We will have an audio, we will do a video, I mean to say, about this, and we'll talk more about these subjects because they're really, really important.
Yes.
But they're bigger than just, and they're bigger and more narrow actually than what we're talking about right now. So there's different layers of that. But what I will say, just as a general statement around sacred union, right? So if you're in a soulmate relationship or in, you know, a deep soul connection, some of you have asked us the difference between soul connection. Why do we say strong soul connection? A strong soul connection is not exclusive to twins. It is a relationship that's strong and mission-based and purpose and all of those things. And it doesn't have to be a twin. So they all exist, right? And so we use different, you know, describers or definitions. But what I would say to you is that those relationships are absolutely designed as very pure mirrors, right? So if you're in pain with a twin, you're in pain with that, you know, consider the fact that it is not just about the romantic relationship connection, and consider the fact that it is about a lot of deep growth. It is a lot of deep mirroring, and so that pain is within you, right? That deep abandonment feeling, it was there before they came in and left, right? That fear of love, it was there before they came in. All of these things are internal. It starts with you, it ends with you, they're part of you.
Yes.
Right? It starts with you, it ends with you, they're part of you. So maybe that helps to bring some clarity around that for you guys a little bit, thinking about what can I do for me? What is going on in me? What is my pain showing me about me? Be very, very careful not to miss that incredible opportunity. If we're talking about pain being caused by a romantic partner, strong soul connection, or twin, be very careful not to ignore what that reflection is trying to show you about you by pointing the finger in another direction and missing that reflection back to yourself, right? Stop, take a breath. You know, and some of you posted that some of the pain around this is very deep pain.
Yes.
Okay? Love, the loss of love, or the separation from a twin, a soul connection that is so strong that it makes you remember your connection to source and self and all things. That pain is very deep. It's very ancient. It's very unique.
Yes.
And those who haven't felt that kind of pain maybe don't understand that pain, but what I would say to you is that as we breathe, everything is possible. As we breathe, you are evolving. And you know, when we feel we want to give up, the thing is that we don't want to send that message to ourselves. Because when we say, I want to give up, somebody had posted about inner child, our inner kid, our characters inside of us, they hear you're being abandoned by yourself.
Yes.
And that is the deepest level of abandonment. And so try today in this moment, in this present, I am not abandoning myself. I do not give up on myself, because that's what you hear inside of you.
Renee goes, even being in union, ha ha ha, whoa, yes, that's a whole nother video, just about that kind of process with being so naked in front of yourself, in front of your partner, which is yourself, and mirroring back and taking the flashlight and looking at each other's stuff with each other is a whole nother process. So we're taking notes on doing some videos for you guys.
Yeah, actually, side note, it's going to be a couple weeks, but we are currently doing a pop-up ascension series on entrepreneurship. Our next pop-up ascension series is on twin flames.
Woo!
So there is going to be that, and there's also going to be something amazing being offered in that we've been working on for 2.5 years for you guys. So it's a pretty big deal. And so we are paying attention and taking notes. We'll talk about all these things.
Yep.
Right? You'll have a whole week, 2 weeks with us, right? Depends how we lay them out where we're doing this. So we will post it. We will post when. You guys put it on your calendars, share it, make sure that everyone comes. The more people that come, the more that we can watch your comments and your questions, the more we can serve you. So if you're asking for service on this, we're here. We're going to do that. So just all you got to do is show up and be there for yourself. For today, allow yourself to realize that you can start to let go of the old ideas around what you thought pain was, and around the idea that you might be doing something wrong in your life. If it feels misaligned for you, you feel like you are choking, you can't breathe, you're not being yourself, then you need to take note of that. Know that your pain is bringing you into that clarity, and your pain is bringing you into, what you need to look at and experience. Suffering is optional. You don't need to go down that road. Allow the thought forms and ideas and comparison that's happening to be removed and let go of, even just in this moment, so you can experience that. Yes. We love all of you guys so much.
Love you so much.
If this video was service to you, then please share it, tag a friend in it, and allow the message to continue to go forward. We will be with you guys next Sunday, and we're so excited. We love all of you very, very much. We'll also be on Monday and Tuesday for some pop-up videos around entrepreneurship and so on. So if you are an entrepreneur, come and meet us and check out those videos. We might even be doing some Q&A. We'll see. I'll be posting about that. We love all of you guys very, very much. Have an amazing Sunday. Amen. Aho, guys. Bye.
Bye.